Hi guys, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm here with Hannah. Hannah, did you want to explain a little bit about who you are and what you do? Because I found you through Instagram, and like I just told you, and I thought it'd be really great today to share a little bit about everything you know when it comes to self-love and women empowerment and everything, because I know a lot of the people that follow me on my YouTube channel are interested in that, and I thought we should share like some of the things you do and what you know and everything like that.
Oh, great, cool. So for everyone who doesn't know me, my name is Hannah Materne. So the word that best sums up, I guess, what I do as a coach.
Yeah.
But the word that I really love is that I'm like a mentor and a speaker, and I basically work with women one-on-one in regards to their goals, and predominantly around self-love and self-confidence, because what I have often found is that women tend to have these goals, have these things that they want to do, or they want to make changes in their life, but what can stop them is like mindset or fear that holds them back.
Beliefs.
Beliefs.
Yeah.
This idea that they're not good enough, or they have to be something to be like that, which, you know, these are all preconceived ideas that we have learned from other people and other generations that never needed to be there. You know, like, women are amazing and they deserve to feel amazing, no matter what, no matter how they look, no matter who they want to be. And this all goes into, you know, it can come into race, into culture. There are so many different ideas around like what box a woman should fit into, and that's why I'm just so passionate, in case you can't tell, about women. And so I work predominantly with women one-on-one, as I said, but then I also love speaking at different events and hosting workshops.
That's so cool. Yeah. So like, what do you remember the moment where you like got into it? Like, what made you be like, oh, I want to help people on this level and coach people?
Well, I guess I had gone through something quite dark in my own personal life. So I was diagnosed with depression in 2000. I actually can't remember. I was 20. That's what I can tell you. I was 20 years old. So about 5 years ago now. And I had been on exchange, which was a wonderful experience. But I had started to like become quite downhill from there. And I thought it was just because I was missing my boyfriend, and then I came back and things still weren't right. And I was really almost like was struggling to get out of bed, and almost not seeing like a light again. It really is that, you really can't see a light at the end of the tunnel. It's very dark.
Depressing.
It's depressing. It's, you really can't see anything positive about your life moving forward, and kind of no point to you as well. And
no purpose.
No purpose, nothing. Like, so I went to the doctor because I was really tired, and he basically, like, in a few short questions, I was bursting out in tears and diagnosed with me depression. However, he said I was going to be depressed for the rest of my life. And
that's so dark.
That's
not motivating at all.
No, he told me I should just be on medication, accept that, and I'll be, because I'm most likely going to be depressed for the rest of my life. And I won't swear, but I was, I didn't swear out loud, but I was basically like, F you. That is not going to be my life. I refuse to let this to be my life.
Wow, that's so cool.
So I, from there, started just working on myself. I bought a book. It came out to my mind. I had heard about it ages ago, and as soon as he said that, I was like, I need to read this book. So I went out and I bought the book You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay. It's a really beautiful one.
Her.
I love it. It was just really taught me the fundamentals of, I guess, self-love and how you talk to yourself. So that's how I got into it. And then I guess about a year or so after that, you know, I was fully out of depression. I was like, and not just out of it, I was actually like the happiest I've ever been in my life. I was the most self-confident, and I realized that, you know, depression was actually like a huge wake-up call, because before that I was just like, you know, really insecure. So you know, it was all those insecurities, and I was really down. I was so hard on myself and all that sort of stuff. So the going through depression woke me up, and then after that I just felt really, really great. And then I was kind of, you know, I'm really into women's empowerment, obviously, like a strong feminist, in that I believe in the equality of men and women. And it just became a natural thought to me, where I thought, you know, like, it's not just self-love so that you feel good, it's self-love to create change all around the world, because like through women, us gaining equality in the world, we also have to love us. It starts from us changing those beliefs that have been forced upon us. And that's where, I guess, so to answer, long story short to your question, I guess it was about probably like a year and a half after doing the work myself that I was like, you know, we need more of this. Yeah, more of this, and every woman deserves to feel like this. Like, it's not just me who deserves this, every single woman deserves this. So I just wanted to do that, and then I found this coaching course, and I didn't really know what it was about, to be honest. Like, I just came out of nowhere and I was like, oh, this just feels right, and I just did it, and here I am. So
you coach people one-on-one, and you do talks as well.
Yes.
That's so cool. And so you said you read Louisa Hay's book, and she's really big on affirmations, right? Really big. So is that something you is a big part of what you do?
I definitely recommend affirmations. I found them really powerful for me. You know, even when I'm going through something challenging right now, because it's not like my life is all perfect all of a sudden, but even when things have come up for me and there have been challenges, or even if I wake up in the day and I'm nervous about something, it's the affirmations that are able to calm me. So I do work a lot with affirmations. However, I would like to say that, like, you know, in anything in life, to always take a pinch of salt, because I think you know what's best for you personally. And so if, like, you were doing affirmations, and oh, sorry, we've got a dog in here.
Okay.
If you were doing, like, affirmations you did feel was right for you, that's totally fine. You know, it's about finding what helps you to feel the best version of yourself. But I have found for me personally that affirmations have helped me to start speaking kinder to myself. Oh, he's really in it now. Has really speak kinder to myself, because now if I'm in a point of my life where I'm having a hard day, I hear two voices come up. So I hear the voice that's like, oh, this is too hard, like, this is really challenging. But I also have that other voice that comes up that's like, you know what, you can do this. And so I think affirmation helps you to build up that resilience and that second voice.
A lot stronger.
A lot stronger, so that, like, when you're going through something challenging, like, you can always hear that second voice. And therefore, like, once you learn something, you can't unknow it. It's right there, niggling in the background. So even if I have a bad day, it's so much easier to pull myself up, because and I think affirmations have laid the groundwork for that. Yeah, definitely.
So when you coach people, a lot of girls, is it like younger girls that come to you, or what's
such a massive range? Such a massive range of, mostly I guess I would work with women between like 18 to say 35, but even if you think about that, like, that's a huge range. But I think the common thing that comes back is just that women just don't feel enough.
Is that really the biggest thing? Because I've struggled with that, and it's still to this day there can be like moments, but it's a huge thing for me to try and work on that and like try and eliminate that from my life. But that's definitely something I struggled with for years, was like not believing in myself and not feeling enough. So that's why when I found you, I thought it was just so amazing that that's like a big focus of yours, because I think that's the core to so many things. Like me thinking I'm not good enough did stop me from doing so many things in my life, or just things taking a lot longer. So I
agree. I think it's that it really is, as you said, like, it's not enough, and it's not like it just affects your self-esteem. And as you said, like, it impacts everything. Your relationships, like jobs, opportunities, university, travel, study, everything. Like,
brings up so much fear and anxiety.
And it's like, you know, even I'm about to move to London, and the amount of people who have told me, like, they would love to do that, and they're probably maybe in better, you know, circumstances than me to be able to do it, but because of this situation or this situation, they don't want to do it. And everyone's circumstances are different, but I think there are there's a lot of fear that holds people back, especially if you come from a place of such privilege already.
That's interesting.
And
what would you say is the biggest difference between, like, choosing to see a life coach over a psychologist or a counsellor or whatever?
So the biggest thing to realise is that if there is such a place for psychologists and counsellors, and that is particularly if you were going through depression or anxiety or anything in regards to mental health. They are there to unpack the past. So if you need to talk through an experience, if you need to be able to let out emotions, that is what a psychologist and a counsellor is there for.
So you don't do that?
No, that if someone was to come to me and they were experiencing depression or anxiety, even though they are things I've experienced myself, I am not trained, and I would recommend to go see a counsellor or a psychologist. When I am working with is moving forward. So
once you've unpacked like what the core issue is.
Yeah. So if you were particularly experiencing a challenge with your mental health, I would say first work with a counsellor or psychologist to help unpack that and get back to like a base level of feeling not so completely dark in who you are. Right. And then from there, that's when you can start to work with a coach and start moving forward. So working on goals like around confidence and self-love. That is what a coach is about, all about moving forward. So I do think it's important to look at the past to see what's happened, because that's about of who you are and what's influencing you to where you are today. However, everything we do is about moving you forward
and not focusing on the problem, but focus on the solution.
Yeah, exactly. We're solution focused.
I love that.
Yeah, so I think that's the main difference. And I work, when I was depressed, I worked with an amazing counsellor who also got me to work with with a little bit around goals. But it was really just helping to like unpack like everything that was going on that was making me feel like shit, like basically that's. And it was really, and I needed that then and there. But then moving forward, I needed to start thinking of like, oh my God, like what do I want out of my life? Like how do I want to be feeling? And that's where all the work around coaching came into it. So there's definitely a need for both. But it's just seeing where you're at that moment and doing what's right for you. Yeah.
That's interesting. And so when someone comes to you and wants to be coached, like for you, how does that work? Like, is it a certain amount of sessions, or like do you give them certain tasks every time, or like how long does it take? Like, do you recommend it for anyone, or only people that like have something they want to break through, or like do you recommend people just being coached just because?
In general,
just
I would say
for a
like,
bit of motivation or whatever.
I would say like I think a lot of people, to begin with, they don't know what coaching is.
Yeah, that's why I thought we'd explain it.
So
I've only just recently sort of realised what it is, like very recently, and that's why I found it really interesting. So I'm lucky I found you. But I think a lot of people don't know about it. That's why I thought we'd talk about it.
Yeah, so a lot of people don't know what coaching is, and that from that I find that like sometimes if I do a giveaway and people win sessions with me, they actually like they love coaching, but they didn't know what it was to begin with. So like, and I think that deters people from even getting started. So I would say like you don't have to have like this set idea, like I want to earn this amount of money, or I want to work on like this goal I want to travel, I want to do self-love. It's not necessarily like you have to like know what it is you want to do, because like I'll help you with that. Like the first thing that I ever do, if someone is interested in being coached, I get them to fill out a questionnaire, and it just goes through their life about like what's great, what's not so great, what do they love about themselves, like maybe what are they like feeling really insecure about. And that, to me, you'd be surprised in about
how much you can find out from them.
In 10 to 15 questions. Like, and these people are like, what I love is like people, when they want to be coached, they usually really open up, and they'll quite bare their selves. I'm like really respectful of that, because you're obviously sharing a lot of what is important to you and what stuff that means to you, but also like insecurities. So through those 10 to 15 questions, I find out you see patterns very quickly.
That's so
to like
cool.
What's important to someone, what isn't, what's like keeping them down, what's a fear. Like it very quickly in those questions you can see patterns, and then when you talk, you have like, I always have like a first session with someone that's complimentary, so it's always like a free chance for them to see like if I'm the right coach for them, because there are heaps of coaches out there, so like you've got to find one that you're comfortable with, and that's just like a great time for us to go through the questionnaire. And then usually I'll be like, these are the patterns that I saw coming up in the questionnaire, and 9 times out of 10 they're like, that is exactly what I want to be working on. And then if they choose to go ahead, we work on 1 to 3 goals at a time. But that depends on like how big one goal is. So like I'm working with someone at the moment and we decided to do 2 because you know what, she's a busy mum, and actually all mums are busy, like, let's be fair. All mums are busy, and so she felt like 2 goals were great for her. They were still enough to challenge her and to move her forward into what she wanted to do, but they were manageable as well, and that's always so important with goal setting. So to go from there, usually I work with someone for about 3 months, because that really helps with seeing like, I guess like a good amount of change. Like 3 months of being committed to a goal, it's actually amazing. At the end, the last session, I get to repeat everything that they've achieved, and they are blown away, because you always forget what you've achieved. You know, and you don't really highlight it, you don't take a moment to be proud. So like that's always a really exciting session. It's like right at the end, just being like, look at that, all you have done and how you've grown. But then I also do consultations, so which is just one-on-one. So like maybe you might have one particular problem, and you just want to like talk about it, and you want some feedback, and you want to put a goal in place and put some structure in place to help you move forward with that as well. I also work with like friends together, so because I really wanted to make coaching approachable. A lot of the times coaching, you know, it definitely is a decision to be made in regards to like financially. I wanted to make it approachable, so I do things where like friends can have sessions together and work on their goals together.
I saw that. That's cool.
So I think the most important thing to take from coaching is like, I'm here to guide you. I'm not here to tell you what to do. So I definitely have things that like I love and have worked for me, but what is way more important to me is you doing what's right for you, and you understanding that. And that takes from like, you know, doing this type of work is learning like, oh no, that shit, oh no, that's great. It takes time. So you actually know the answers. You really do. I'm just asking the right questions to make those answers come out, and then I can help guide you and support you. The other day I was working with someone, and they were saying like, oh, you know, like I really think I should be, you know, getting back into like my career and stuff. But you know, when she was talking, she realized that like it was actually just pressure that she felt from other women around her, not actually what she wanted to be doing. She actually really loved being
so actually
a
just
mum.
Talking it through, you find the answers as well.
It's amazing what happens when like you get to spend that personal time with someone and they get to talk about themselves, especially because women, how guilty do we feel about taking up space or like talking about ourselves, or we feel like we should be able to do everything and have a handle on it all.
That's so true.
So when you get to talk, you're just like, it's very easy to highlight this, you know, this thing that you want is coming from love, and this thing is coming from a place of fear or from guilt. Like I worked with another beautiful client, and her first thing was like, now I've been thinking about my goals, and the goal that I want to do is I want to help my friends set up this and this and this. And I was like, no, like, because that's when I had to be strict. I was like, because we're not working on you then. Like that's your thing of like, you're helping her.
You have to help yourself before you can naturally and easily help other people.
And then she got it, and she was like, oh yeah. And one of the things like we were working on the whole time was being able to like say no to people. That is like such,
that's hard.
That's hard. Like, you know, like I would say women not feeling enough, that's number one thing that comes up. The second thing is women saying no. I feel so guilty about saying no.
So true. That even almost happened to me today, because I've had such a full-on day, like so busy, but then someone asked me for a favour, and I was so close to trying to make it work, but it's like, no, I can't, like, fit in, but it's so hard to say no to people.
And you feel it's like ingrained within us that like women are meant to feel guilty, like you're not being kind enough or sweet enough, or like I know with like my move to London, I have like felt like, oh my god, like I want to make sure I see everyone, and I'm getting on top of my to-do list. And you know what, like what happens is when you consistently just give yourself to everyone, you end up completely drained, sick, you know, energy gone, which I ended up getting sick because I didn't listen to my own advice.
Oh my god.
But you know, it's that thing of saying no is like, I find the second biggest thing for women. Like we feel so guilty for putting ourselves first, even though that is what will give us the energy, and that's what will make us truly happy. Because we can't please everyone, but it's like we're still taught to please everyone, but we just can't. It's just not possible.
So what do you do when you're feeling unmotivated or down or something? Like, do you see a coach?
Yeah, so I did work with a coach, and she was really wonderful. She was particularly great where like, I guess a challenge that I face is I get all these big ideas and all these amazing things that I want to do, but I can like tend to get put a lot of pressure on myself to make
I feel
it
like
happen.
we're so similar.
To make it happen in 5 seconds flat.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I just want it to happen now. Like, I just want it to be
Same,
there now. So it was really great working with a coach because she actually helped me to slow down in a great way. And to also, I think, get really clear again as to like what was right with me within what I wanted to do. So not getting caught up on what that person was doing or what that person was doing. So I don't see a coach at the moment. However, I have in the past, and it's always transformative, because I think also when you're working with a coach, you get pretty honest pretty quickly, because like you want to get something out of it, and you're also paying to work with this person.
Exactly.
So there's this like high accountability there. Like you can't run and hide from there. They're there from them. They're there for a reason. So you get pretty honest pretty fast. And like I think what was funny about my coach is like I kept telling her I was going to hit this target, this target, this target, and like the whole she was like like just sitting there. And then the next session I was just like, I just need a break. Like I need to, like my whole body is just like yearning for me to just stop and to just quiet and to give myself some time and to not be so hard on myself. And she was like, yes, I didn't want to say anything, but I thought that might happen. But it's great because you're so involved in working on yourself when you are with a coach. Like you do pick up things much more quickly. When it's just yourself, it's so easy to like brush stuff aside and be like, oh no, like like you hear that little niggle in your head and you're like, no, it's like fly away. Like, and then you just get so caught on that adrenaline and that thing of just thinking and getting caught up in your thoughts that you're not listening to yourself anymore.
Interesting. Okay, and before I ask my last question, like where can people find you online? Like how can they like find your services or social media?
I guess where I'm most active, although I have taken a little break at the moment, but I'm on Instagram at Hannah Materne. The reason I'm Hannah Kate, not everyone calls me Hannah Kate, is because some girl already exists with the name Hannah Materne. She's an artist and she has a great website, so I had to choose Hannah Kate Materne for my website. So Hannah Kate Materne is my website. Hannah Kate Materne is my Instagram, so you can reach out to me there. While we are here right now in Adelaide, Australia, I'm moving to London, as I've mentioned, but what is amazing about my work is I can work with women all around the world. I've worked with women while I've been in Australia, from Europe, from UK, from America. So I have online calendar that you can schedule into, and basically you can find the time that suits for your time zone and your location. And I always start everything with a complimentary phone call. So if you were even just slightly interested and just wanted to bombard me with like a million questions, you can do that. Like, that's completely free, and you deserve that, because you need to make sure that I'm the right coach for you. So that's where you can find me.
Cool. And last question is like, what is like one really solid piece of advice you could give to women? Like, what do you think is like the most important thing? I know that's such a big question, but like when it comes to maybe self-love or something like that, like just something general.
The biggest thing that I think you can do for yourself is to take the time to understand who you are and listen to yourself, because even that comes into anything around wellness and self-development. There is a lot of advice out there on what you can do,
and it can be quite
overwhelming. So honestly, just focus on what feels right. If it's like people are talking about meditation and you're just intrigued by it, do it. If people are talking about affirmations and that feels intriguing, do it. If you try it and it doesn't feel right, don't worry about it. You're not being like a bad person at all. I think there's a lot of pressure sometimes within this wellness space that you need to be doing like that green matcha and that meditation and I don't know, like there's so many things. So like keep listening, and you'll feel like that your body will literally react
with
to
what
it.
you're doing.
You'll think about, like, when I'm ever feeling confused, because my head literally goes 100 miles per hour,
like everyone's,
everyone's, I will like almost like I'll literally do this. I'll drag my energy to go down to my tummy, and I will just be like, okay, do I feel like meditating? And my body physically reacts. It's like, yes, that feels exciting. You can feel that. You can, like, if you take a moment to be quiet with yourself, you can feel that. So the biggest thing I can say to women is like, keep practicing that ability to listen to yourself, because you know what's right for you, and it doesn't matter what anyone else is doing. If that excites you, and that's what's important, and you deserve that, because all women are truly amazing. And just end of story.
That is so good. Really good advice.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for taking the time for this.
This is so good. I loved it.
Yeah, I can see the passion in your eyes about all of this, so that's really, really cool that you make a difference in women's lives around the world. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, so thank you.
No, thanks so much for having me, Sophia.
That's all right. Thank you, guys. See ya.